Did you know that railroads have been running through Oskaloosa since 1864? Hi, I'm Aaron Riggs, and on this episode of Oskaloosa Today, we're going to show you a club of railroad enthusiasts that love to share in their passion of model railroading. We'll take down to size the club's history, their county fair project, and what it is that drives their passion for model railroading. The Penn Central Railroad Club on Oskaloosa Today.
My name is Bill Ludwig. I'm 73, retired, been retired for 10 years, and I moved to Oskaloosa in 1974. I was a plant manager for Mahaska Industries. Then I was a buyer at a wholesale plumbing and electrical house. In the last 8 years before I retired, I drove over the road for Schneider National.
My name is Donna Rusinski. I am retired from Oskaloosa Community Junior High School in 2002. And since then, I took up trains as a hobby.
My name's Blake Kennis. I'm 20 years old, and I work down at Cargill in Eddyville for a living. It's pretty much my dream job down there, getting to operate the real trains and everything. So.
The club has always been housed here in the mall.
We've been in this location 3 years, maybe 4.
This is the 4th location we've been in.
Well, the Bath and Body was our original place where we just met loosely. We weren't even a formal club. We were just getting together to learn how to do bench work. And then we moved to where Curves is located. And then we moved to the old Hallmark store after it left, which was eventually a computer store of some type.
This is by far the largest one we've had, and we really treasure this. This is great.
It's been around a lot longer than I've been in it. I mean, it's been around for quite a while.
We became a club in 2006, and we wrote a bylaws. We became a nonprofit. We went through all the rigmarole that you do in becoming those type of organizations.
Well, we have a president, vice president, secretary, historian. Officially, I'm the treasurer, and I have been that for probably 3 years now.
I became the secretary when we first were organized.
I'm the president, and that's pretty recent. That's just a couple months now.
He came into our club about 2 years ago. He was just interested in trains. All of his life he's been interested in trains.
I would come in probably once or twice a summer, and I thought it was always kind of neat, and one day I kind of showed up and I just kind of stuck around and didn't leave.
He's a railroad enthusiast, and as luck would have it, he runs rail trains at Cargill. So
he runs the trains down there as far as loading and unloading. So because of his enthusiasm and the hours that he put in, he was a real good candidate for us to consider being president.
He was enthused, and he wanted to see the club perpetuated, so he stepped up.
And it was a unanimous vote this past year to put him in as president of the club.
I just figured, what the heck, I'll take over as being president, you know? How often do you get to be the president of something?
He's doing real well.
He's doing all right for a young guy. He doesn't always understand Robert's Rules of Order, and we assist him in doing those business things when it's necessary, and otherwise we just kid him a lot.
He fits right in, and you know, age doesn't make any difference. We're all kids.
As far as our meetings go, we try to be lighthearted. We do a lot of kidding. HO inactive as usual. There's always that rivalry between the HO guys and the O scale guys, and we like to kind of, you know, just kid around and knock each other down that way. But we still take care of business that we need to. Like in the near future, we'll be talking a lot about getting ready for our November show. The purpose of the club is for people who like railroads, whether it's the real railroads or if it's model railroading. You have a group of people who like to visit about railroads.
And work off of each other's ideas, you know, work on different projects with each other, pretty much just to have fun with a hobby.
Well, last count we were around 25 members this year. We're down from last year, but that always is flexible. You never know how many members we'll have.
Most of our members have just came and visited, and then they'll kind of come a little more often.
But you know, anytime anybody wants to stop by and we're here, that's fine.
If you want to become a member, we invite you to come to our club several times, get to know us, bring your train in, see if it's something that you feel fits you.
We have an application to fill out, and it's largely formality. And then after the application is submitted, the club votes on the membership.
As a group, in our meetings, we'll review the person after we've got to know them a little bit. We'll see what they have, kind of see what they're into, and then if we're all with each other on the decision, then we just vote them in, and then you're part of the club.
$30 for a single membership, $45 for a family membership is how our dues are rated at this time.
Which is pretty lenient.
Dues are usually paid in January and last through December 31.
Well, the club is actually a 501c3 nonprofit and tax-exempt organization. And part of that is that we're educational.
We try to do seminars one Monday night a month. Anybody can come in and sit down on those. We go to schools, we go to nursing homes, we go to the fair to try to make us more visible.
We do share a booth at the fair with wooden stuff where we have trains, and we'll take our little layout out there.
We make a layout every year for it as a representation of the club.
Wooden stuff has several spots that they use, and they usually give up one spot and let us pay for that spot at the Varied Industries building.
It's something that we can have outside where random people can come by and kind of notice us a little bit more outside of the mall.
And we just feel that being at the fair gives us an opportunity to let the community know that there's a club available.
This year we've built a small layout that has all three scales.
HO, O, and N scale.
This is a 3-track, and this is O scale.
Most of the members in the club are into O scale just because it's a pretty popular thing.
HO is called half of O. That's where it gets its name, HO. And it runs basically on 2 tracks.
That's what I'm into. It's very common scale, really easy to model. It's
by far the most popular, and therefore there's a lot more equipment available for HO.
Then we have what's called N scale, and it's half again the size of HO.
N scale is one of the more space-saving ones.
Oh, I'm partial to HO. I guess just because we've always done it that way.
Yeah, there's many others. G scale is a size bigger than O scale. That's like a garden railroad if you want to have something out in your garden to run. And then the smallest gauge out there is Z scale, and that's even smaller than N scale.
So then in the spring of the year, the fair, we start talking about what do we want to do as a club.
We all brainstorm about how we want to change our layout up, what we want to do different than last year. We decided to do a tiered layout multi-layered layout.
We had the O scale on the outside of a 4x8 layout. And then inside that we had an HO on the second level, and then on the top level we had an N scale. And basically it was just an oval loop.
We started out with a rigid board. It's a 4x8, and we built our scenery and our different levels for the track out of styrofoam.
We had to then put plaster Paris cloth over it
To smooth out the seams and give it a little contour, whatever you want. And then on top of that, you'll paint it an earth tone.
Went in with the real dark green, did the whole thing in dark green, and then we went in with kind of a splotchy dirt brown, and then went over that, and then that gave us all of our ground color.
And then we put the track down to see how the track was going to work on it. And after that was done, we took it out to the fairgrounds because it was close to time. Once we were out at the fairgrounds, we put the transformers on little boxes underneath the table. We had to check to see that the track was running properly. Then we decided it needed some buildings, so some of the club members brought in buildings to sit around in the corners and on top of the third tier to make it look a little more like a real place rather than just oval tracks going around in circles.
So far, I've had a pretty eventful morning. A lot of kids coming through so far today, handing out our stickers. Yesterday we didn't have them, so today we're trying to hand them all out.
We like the little kids. We like to give them little stickers too, and they just get real excited. Well, when we are running trains, whether it's at the fair or whether it is in here, it is fun to watch people watch the trains. When the kids are in here, you see them waving their hands, their eyes are sparkling.
It's neat to see the look on the younger kids' faces because, you know, they'll run around and try to follow them.
And we try to say, well, just stay put, you know, the train will come back, you'll see it. So that part is fun.
Well, I think to be a model railroader, you almost have to live in a little bit of a fantasy land. So I don't know whether you go back to being a kid again, which I think we all are, but just to see something run, you can place it in a real situation. And I think that's part of the reason that people build these models, is they're always trying to do a little bit more, just to make it a little bit more real.
It's your hobby. When you buy your stuff, you have complete power of what you want to do with it. You can make your own, pretty much when you make a layout, you can make your own world. You can put whatever buildings you want in it, you can put your favorite type of cars on it, you can run, you know, whatever trains you like you can buy.
And Blake Kennis, our president, is fantastic with that. He does a really good job. And it's fun to see what he's done. It takes a lot of time.
It's also nice to see a lot of the more mature adults make comments about how nice your stuff looks, because that kind of lets you know that you're doing a good job. The kids are always going to like it, but it's more challenging to appeal to the older crowd to see what they think.
Once you have designed something, there is a sense of satisfaction that, hey, I did that. Because it took a lot of hours to get there, and you think, wow, this is where it is now, considering the fact that this was something I painted. I put this paper down. I had to figure out what I wanted for a design. So yes, it is neat to come to that point where you can just sit back, put a train on, watch it run, and goof off.
This hobby, it kind of can push your creativity to the max. You can do things, you can try certain ideas and do things that you wouldn't think you would have been able to do. It's just all about you and what you want to do. So that's what I really enjoy about it. Whatever you want to do, the sky's the limit, as far as you can go,